so excited.
It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
It is race week right here on Two Guys and a Goalie, and the trophy is in the house. Gage, how it's right next to Charlie the Penguin.
Yeah.
How's boy? Look at this thing.
Yeah. I just wanted
we got to do something about the names.
Well, I'm gonna get it engraved, but
they're stuck on with Scotch tape and paper.
It's me.
This is Gager's trophy,
twice,
yeah.
And phony.
Yeah, I hate it.
And
I hate it.
This is about as close as Cass has ever gotten
Cass,
to
you've
it.
never got this thing yet, eh?
Yep, I hate everything about what is happening right now, and no one likes racing anyways. So.
Yeah, I sent you the link to join the pool.
Yeah, Gage, you've been busy today.
I had to.
When did you send it?
What?
When did you send it?
I think I'm pretty sure I sent it to you.
I got it.
Oh, I did. 11:37.
20 minutes ago. Yeah, 11:37.
Same format, two teams.
You're going around helping everybody sign up.
Well,
like I go out and Trev and Zach both have their heads buried in their laptops setting.
It's amazing, young people, that they're just their effort level is so gross and putrid. Like you would have thought I was waxing Trev's legs getting him to sign up for this pool. It was like constant complaining. Zach couldn't be happy.
Yeah,
he's all in. Like,
yeah.
He came into my office. I had to kick him out of my office because he was like, Gager, what do you think of my team? Like, he's already asking. I go,
oh my
out,
God.
out.
Yeah, Gager's doing business work in there.
And so.
And Reed signed up?
Reed, he's a little scary. He's a little, because I was going to help him, and then I said, yeah, you can just do this. He goes, no, I've got this.
Well, he's an adult.
Yeah. Well, but he didn't want me to see the construction of his team.
Well, I wouldn't. I mean, I guess we can see once it's posted anyway.
But not now.
No,
like,
not
right
now.
now. When you go in and look, you can't see what everyone else has picked, right?
Man, with everybody in the office, I might be competitive in this thing this year.
That's
like
what
I
I'm
might
thinking.
want to try to get into it a little
That's
bit
why
more.
I wanted to get everyone in. And Tommy Gazzola's a little, it's Tommy. He's all.
He's aloof.
Yeah. So we got to get him in too. He said he would get it done by tonight. I'll work on him.
What is the deadline to sign up? I'm pretty bad at procrastinating.
Well, it will be. I mean, if you want the points, the race is coming up this weekend.
Yeah, well, I know that. So, like Thursday is the cutoff? Or?
Once you go onto the site, I think it's your team lock deadline is within the next 3 days.
Okay, all right.
So.
And did we get 2 listeners into this thing?
Yes, we did.
Who'd you?
You have to wait till 1 to 3
you haven't revealed it yet?
Yeah.
Are you revealing it today?
Yes.
Oh man, you guys are really running a nice show there. From 1 to 3.
Thanks, boss.
EST afternoons. I wasn't sure about you guys, but this whole F1 thing with the listeners has really solidified you in the future of the company here. So yeah, no, that's good. Hernandez over there in the corner. A lot of people are going to be mad. You're going to lose viewers today because they're like, I'm only here to try to get into the F1 league. You have to start a second league where the winner of that league gets moved up and our loser gets relegated.
Hernandez and I are discussing maybe there's relegation in it.
Yeah.
So.
The only thing that I've been frustrated with our other F1 leagues is that they're way too. Like, they don't allow any dirty names at all for teams. Like, nothing even remotely close.
Well, Trev's got some that are bordering.
I remember last year, that's why both my teams looked like a prison code number.
Yeah,
because
you had the whole prison team.
Well, you could have gone in and changed them again.
Well, but I didn't log back in after like week 3. But this year I'm going to have more of a commitment because it's like kind of a work thing. And then like I'll be like, sorry, I can't do that right now. I'm working on my team.
It's only 24 times from now till Christmas. It's not that big of a commitment. Come on.
Yeah, I guess it's not that much. All right, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. It is Two Guys and a Goalie. We are presented to you by GS Construction, where they are always hiring, including right now. If you are looking for work, take your career to the next level with the Sandman and the crew over at GS Construction. All you have to do is go to their website. It's super easy. Just hop online, gsconstruction.ca, scroll on down, and you'll see Ready to Work, or you can visit their page at indeed.ca and with the Next Up Person program at GS Construction. It's not just a job, it is a career. Hey, where do you guys come out going to the gym and walking around completely naked?
Like where in the gym are we doing this?
Like in the change room. Like I've been swimming for the last couple of weeks. So I go swim. Okay. I'm in the gym after. And already I'm in the gym. Like I'm in the getting changed after and stuff. And getting changed or whatever. And then with a hockey team is different. Like, the boys are hopping in the shower, joking around. But just like right around strangers, I just don't know. There's a guy today who is right in front of me, completely buck. And I was just like, can you just move your wiener to the side there, sir? I'm trying to put my socks on. Like, I couldn't do it. I don't know how people can be that comfortable around, like, complete strangers nude. Cass,
You know what? You think you have an issue with that. We talked yesterday on the Oil Stream pregame show about drug testing.
Yes.
Because of the Ekblad situation. How about you have to be naked with two strangers like a foot away from you, just staring at you, waiting for you to pee?
You have to be completely naked when you do a piss test?
You gotta have your pants down far enough, your shirt up high enough.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Like the mid, like from your tits to
you gotta have it, yeah. Like you basically. So that you can't. There's no hoses or anything. You're not using someone else's pee.
It's not like that scene in Austin Powers. Remember that one scene in Austin Powers where he's taking a piss?
Yeah. No. What was his name? Latimer in the program too, wasn't it? He was. He attached.
Was he scamming the system?
No, they pulled all out of his bladder and put fresh stuff in.
No way.
Yeah.
I watched the program a long time ago. I can't remember anything about it. I don't know. I was just like, damn. Like I don't know.
It's weird. It's weird.
Hey?
It's weird.
It's weird.
Oh, I was talking about that yesterday. It was random testing, and somehow I got randomly selected every single time. Every single time. I did not miss one. I did not miss a single one. There was not a single time where there was drug testing. The random ones, because you have the normal, like the scheduled mandatory ones, and then you have the random ones. So the mandatory ones, everyone does them, but the random ones, it's like different people every time. Apparently, I missed none of them. Every single one. Every single one.
When you're carved of granite, Cass, I guess you're gonna get
not anymore. But well, I think they probably put like the people that they think are susceptible or more susceptible to it. They randomly show up on the random list randomly more often somehow. Which whatever. I mean, I was never on anything, so it wasn't a problem. I just hated doing those drug tests. But it's just weird. Which is the same thing. Like wear a towel at least. Like throw a towel on.
Yeah.
Like just throw a towel on. Something. Like otherwise, it's weird.
Not. The one guy was having a conversation with the janitor for goodness sakes. I'm like, this is a weird conveation. Yeah. The janitor was doing some work, so he was actually wearing like one of those masks, and I was like, yeah, I should put one of those on too. I'm gonna be walking around this change room like this. Yeah, it was kind of
a true measure of a man.
Yeah,
Dusty.
it's also. I was telling the boys. I kept back today, and I was like, man, the guys who are jacked. And I haven't been. I used to go to that gym quite a bit when we had the old place. Yeah. Then it shut down. I haven't been in like a year and a half. And I'm going back a bit. And bumped into a listener today who actually works there. Yeah, and a really nice guy. Anyway, all the jacked guys just love staring in the mirror. And I'm always like, I'm trying to avoid the mirror. I'm like, I don't want to see anything, man. Like, I just came, I want to swim for 30 minutes and that's it. Let me go about my way. I don't need to see somebody else's, you know what, and I don't need to like stand in front of a mirror with a bunch of jack dudes. So I'm having a hard time readjusting to this like gym life because it's not for me. But I do love swimming. I just love swimming, so I like going. But man, it's
that's good.
It's frustrating. I wonder what they think of just me somewhat fat dude standing in front of the mirror naked, just staring at myself.
But then flexing.
Yeah, and then flexing. And they just see like child arms. That would be a funny bit. Like that would be a funny bit. Like really above average, out of shape guy. Like just in the gym being like
checking
like
everything
turning
out.
around, looking in the mirror and sucking it in. And be like,
set up the phone and to the right angle. That'd be great.
yeah. Anyway, this is my new journeys over at LA Fitness. All right, we've delayed it long enough. How do you lose to the Buffalo Sabres, Gager?
You're just not that good a hockey team, I guess. Right? Boils down to it.
You know what? Like, because I thought they played okay-ish. But you're right. Like, maybe not finding a way to beat Buffalo is a sign that you're not a very good hockey team.
No,
I mean,
I think good teams find a way to get that done. You know, I just don't understand. It looked like the progression of it was in the right direction. And for how many times do we look at this team and say, and Nancy and I were saying it, they're going to go into this game against the Buffalo Sabres and try to do just enough to win.
That is
and that's what they went in there thinking, you know what? If we just do enough, we'll probably win this thing. We won't do anything extra, and that was evident. And, you know, you can say you hit the posts or whatever, but I'm a goalie. So, I mean, you missed. Yeah. You know, I had it
you
covered.
You didn't score. Like,
that's what I used to say all the time. You did not score. Like my friend John Toretto, you lose by an inch or a mile. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. You still didn't put the puck in the net.
Cass, what was the main thought process last night?
You never had your car. You never had me. You never had your car.
Had your car.
Almost had you.
To some people, respect is more important, Cass. Respect is more important.
Yeah. I mean, the story in the post game was as it should be. I mean, you know, you had the regular culprits and Bouchard doing something that looked less than fantastic. You know, Stuart Skinner letting in a weak goal in the first one, not being able to control the rebound, having a horrible rebound on the first goal, and then the team not being able to finish. And then there was some smattering of why isn't Knobloch calling the timeout late? Now, granted, they're already down at that point, but like, why isn't he deploying properly here? You know, why is Janmark on the ice with 2 minutes left in a game that you're down? Which is a reasonable question to ask, and some frustration with that. And then I think there's a lot of it that's warranted. I do agree with Knobloch in his post-game comments that they had the opportunities to win this game. They had so many opportunities to score, and they just missed. You know, you hit the post, that's a miss. I'm with you, Gage. That is a miss. Yes, it's great you got a great opportunity, but you missed. And you had, especially in the first period, 3 or 4 or 5 chances that you should have buried, you should have bore down on, because Buffalo, just like most teams, like, yes, I know they're one of the worst teams in the league, but they have a decent number of wins, actually, if you look at it. And it's like, well, you let this team that has been beat up, has a big losing streak going on, and you just let them hang around and let them hang around and let them hang around, and all of a sudden you're in one. So it's, you know, it's frustrating knowing that if they wanted to close the distance with Vegas on this road trip, you needed to win this game. Like, it was a huge game, a huge opportunity, but yeah, the execution was not there. When you have players like Podkolzin trying to do, I don't know what he was trying to do at the blue line, like,
well, he was
stuff
trying
like
to
that.
Flip it back to Draisaitl, who was swinging high.
No,
but you need to have a skill set, though, to, you know.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I know what he was trying to do, but what was he trying to do? Like, he was, like, I know that the intent was to drop into, like, run a swing play at the blue line with Draisaitl, but it's like, you're not Draisaitl or McDavid, you're not in the power play. Why are you trying to do that? So what are you actually trying to do? You're actually trying to play outside of your skill set in that moment, and this is not good. And maybe I don't know, did you guys get to listen to Knobloch's comments after the game?
We played like 2.5 minutes of whatever you guys played post game. We played again this morning. Yeah.
Okay, you played again this morning. Okay, so Gager, maybe just for you, you know, Podkolzin got called out, not by name, but by Knobloch, talking about how they have too many guys trying to basically do too much and play outside themselves, and be too skilled. And I just guess I wanted to hear from you guys, like, do you see that as a good thing that Knobloch's starting to call some of this stuff out publicly or not?
I saw a bit of it, Cass. The body language and the way Knobloch looked, he looked frustrated for the first time, I thought, talking about the team's certain personnel and the way that they manage the puck and the decisions that they're making. Because, like, if you remember probably about 2 weeks ago, he had said there's too many guys trying to not make the right plays, trying to do a little bit too much. And I think he's getting fed up with it. Myself, I think that there's too many times in danger zones, 6 feet on either side of each blue line, where there's an attempt to do a backhand sauce pass over a stick to hit a late guy while everyone's going in one direction. Right? It's just, there's 2 guys on the team that are able to do that and should be able to do that. And that's Connor and Leon, right? And that's it. Everyone else, puck's got to move forward. If it's got to be tape to tape, and if it's not tape to tape, it's going deep anyways with how hard you're passing the puck. Like, too many soft plays around there to a man, everyone. And I think that's why you saw Knobloch start to indirectly say, what the heck is Podkolzin doing there?
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to lock a guy in the top 6 for most of the season, you want him to probably try to make some skill plays at some point, like maybe some mixed messaging.
Well,
like he's thinking, I got Draisaitl here.
Yeah.
I got, they're right. I mean, Knobloch's right, though. I mean, he's not going to be able to make those plays, but I mean, you want guys next to Draisaitl who can attempt and make those sometimes, and he just can't.
Yeah.
Maybe he shouldn't be playing there would be another question I think you could ask following up. Don't you think, Cass? Like, what would you do with the top 6 right now?
I don't think. Yeah, I think that's a good conversation to get to. But I think with Podkolzin, it's like, even in that, like, you never, I'll go back to Patrick Maroon being in that position. Like, did we see Patrick Maroon all the time trying to do that at the blue line? No. Like, yes, you're playing with those guys. Yes, you have to have an expectation that they make some of those skill plays. But they have to still know their limitations, even inside that. Like, don't do something ridiculous, and trying to do a drop pass on an exchange with another defenseman right there in traffic it's just foolishness. Like, it's a bad play. As to what should the top 6 look like, I don't know. I'm hoping Frederick comes back soon, and maybe we can get a little bit of a more different look. Yeah, because you're still running with some of those guys like.
That was my issue, Cass. Like, because I just tweeted out, I was like, should the others kind of blow up the top 6 a bit? And then I was like, but how do you go about doing that?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have anybody in the bottom 6 that's really playing well enough that you're like, man, we got to give this guy a little bit more opportunity, right? Like, that's the dilemma you would be running here, I guess.
The kind of the advantage they had last year was when either if it was McLeod or Fogle, when they started to falter in the top 6, there was a substitution, because usually that guy in the bottom 6 was going pretty good, and then he went up. Like, there was interchangeable pieces, even Holloway, right? Like, so, and now it's gone so stagnant in the bottom 6 for production wise, aside from Corey Perry, I guess. You know, that's the only guy. Like, and that shouldn't be the guy that's consistently being put up in the top 6.
When he's the guy they'll throw out there as extra attacker. Or
he's the one that they go to. So, and that I love that that he's playing that well. But it should be way more of a competition than just he's your only option right now if you need a spark offensively.
Guys, would you try to do anything in the top 6? Like, I mean, I guess you could take Podkolzin off Draisaitl. Yeah. They've done that. Like, that's kind of been the one thing they've sort of done. Like, Arvidsson seems locked in there for some reason. And then, obviously, Nugent Hyman.
Bring back Savoy, right? Well, maybe. I mean, right? Is that an option?
I don't think that's a crazy suggestion.
I don't think it's crazy either. Like, I mean, laugh because he's not here right now, but, like, Arvidsson hasn't done much of anything. And then you just keep running him back. And Podkolzin has served his purpose. Like, I know I harp on him for trying to make that play, but, like, generally speaking, he has played to his strengths on that line, and he's generally done okay.
His strengths on that line, Cass, would you say, though, profile as a bottom 6 guy anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like
that.
that.
Yeah. Well, you don't. Yeah. You're not going to be something you're not. Like it's still being physical. Still, trying to forecheck and turn over pucks and being like that. Yeah.
But even that point, like he's kind of dropped off. Even that side of the production wise, like it doesn't seem like he's overly physical now. Like
it's not standing out like it was at the beginning of the season. Like he doesn't shoot the puck at all.
Well, he's scared to.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't want to. He wants to try to find Leon. Right, like he'll be right in the middle of the ice and looking for Leon back door somewhere. Right, so
780-218-9999 if you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, or if you're watching over on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up for us and you can chime in the nasty chat over there. It's Two Guys and Goalie presented to you by GS Construction. Pickle Rick over in the nasty chat says, why are we so oblivious to the fact that the Oilers' goaltending is their downfall? Stuart Skinner's ranked 74th in goals saved above expected. Gage, let's start with you on the play of Skinner last night. What did you like? I hated the first goal. Third goal just looked awkward as hell. But I don't think he was like the sole reason they lost last night type of thing,
No, and look, I know for most Oilers fans, they just want the stud goalie that bails them out because I don't think there's a goalie out there that's under a certain price point that you can get in here that's going to have success with the way that this team plays defense. It doesn't matter what goalie you have. Maybe it's an extra save here or there, and you'd like that. And I'll say it, Stuart Skinner hasn't been, over the past month and a half, has not played well at all. I still think you keep putting him in there. You play him till he looks fatigued, and then maybe give him a break. But he has to try to find something here. Like you said, Dusty, the first goal, not a terrible rebound, but again, got Bouchard handing out tickets.
I mean, there's no way Tage Thompson can get to the net that freely.
You can't let one of the best goal scorers in the league.
You're not expecting a rebound there?
No.
But you should still play like you are.
But you're playing against the other team's top player. You make things difficult for him, so he goes, you know what, maybe I'll do this. I'm done for the night. We'll go on to the next game. You can't allow the other team's skill and good players to have a free night. He should have been battling for every inch of space he had, and he just didn't.
Can't bobble that rebound either, though.
You can't, I get what you're saying. You can't bobble the rebound, but just do something resembling anything defensively. And, you probably need a save. You need a save on that, on his second goal, which was a great play. But I said it this morning. It looked like Stuart Skinner was completely caught off guard. Oh, that guy's right in front of me. Oh.
Yeah.
And then
when he came across, by the time he fired, he was like,
well, what just happened, right? You can't be taken by off guard like that as a goalie. You got to think that the worst is going to happen. It's essentially a 2-on-1 with a loose puck going back. So, yeah, there's probably a good chance that this is going to get knocked to the other guy. And it just wasn't a good look on Skinner.
Cass, what'd you think of him last night?
Yeah, I mean, he's average. He was average. He did make a couple of good saves. He had the 1-2-1 save late to kind of keep them in it and to give him a chance.
To keep it 3-2, yep.
To keep it 3-2 and to stay in it. So there were some good things. I didn't like the rebound control, and he was a little jittery yesterday. Like there's a one, and he ended up freezing it.
Was that the first period?
But it was a play in, I think it was the second period. Or was it maybe the first? I can't remember what period it was, but it was like he tried to freeze it around and he kind of ended up half getting up and then going back down and like trying to be like on one knee, trying to freeze it with his glove. Like it was just a pretty awkward looking little sequence. So yeah, I don't think he was feeling it great, and he hasn't been recently. He hasn't been fantastic since coming out of the break. Certainly the team needs him to do more. At the same time, like the comment on the 74th and goals saved above, and this is. Again, like analytics are good and important, but you have to context it so much, right? Because if you look at some of the games where it's like, well, his goals saved above were way lower, and it's like, well, no, he actually played a really good game and he had zero chance on backdoor tap-ins. Like you have to go back and context some of that. So I don't like just looking at that stat in isolation to say that yesterday, yeah, that first goal really hurt them, and his rebound control was horrible. That's fair. because his rebound control was horrible. He was fighting that a little bit up until the time he made some good saves, and it wasn't a great night for him. So, yeah, I mean, goaltending was an issue. As you already mentioned, Bouchard being around the net and kind of haphazardly slapping at a puck instead of just being decisive. Like, all he had to do was poke that forward.
Yeah.
Just poke it into the corner.
Get it to the corner. Poke it in the corner. And then you're like, you get help.
What was the play he was going to make there?
He was thinking offense, because he's thinking there's two guys right here. No, I'm serious. I'm serious, but that's what the thought. Watch what his stick does. The play he is trying to make. So if you slow it down, you watch the stick, he's trying to pop it into a reverse, because he's like, our guys are coming. McDavid is coming. Our teammates are behind these guys. There's two of them pressuring me hard. If I basically reverse it behind me, so get it kind of towards the blue line, McDavid's going to be able to pick it up and go full tilt the other way, and we're going to get a chance. That's what he's trying to do. It's he's trying to pop it basically behind those guys to get it to his own teammates to transition and play offense. That's what he's trying to do. He's thinking offense.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Watch it. Yeah. He's trying to pop it. He's trying to pop it back to play offense when the play, and then he takes a couple swings at it because he doesn't want it to do it too hard, because if he does it too hard, the second layer of Buffalo's guys pick it up, right? So he's thinking getting it to my back checkers where they can turn and try to catch Buffalo flat-footed. That's the thought. But what he should be doing is just poking it out of danger, right? Like making a decisive play instead of kind of just swinging at it with one hand or two hands, kind of trying to make a soft bat, which is what he's trying to do. He's trying to just chip it, basically doing a soft chip backwards instead of just punching it to the corner and going, I'm going to get it to the corner and wait for help, which is what he should do, because it's like
most guys would just poke it to the corner. The one guy's probably going to the front of the net hoping for a pass
and eat it.
He just go control the guy's stick and keep the puck in the corner and wait for help. That should be along shortly. But that's a good point, Cass. It's a unique way of thinking when you're on a 2-on-1 with a loose puck.
Racing for a loose puck, man. I'm just going to put
racing for a loose puck with all kinds of pressure.
It's a tough one. Okay, so some text reaction to this conversation about Skinner, 780-218-9999, or over in the nasty chat as well. RCN is in, says 871 save percentage his last 10 starts. Simply not good enough. James over in the chat says the lack of defensive coverage will always hurt this team. Yes, a save would be nice, but if the defense can't cover guys, then what? And you know what? I just kind of tweeted out and asking people, these are your goalies for the rest of the year. Yep. Trying to win a Stanley Cup again. These are your goalies. I was going to talk about how maybe the biggest flaw with this team is that they're just soft and too easy to play against. And this might tie into that conversation, Gager. As a team, they clearly need to play differently. Like, they don't have these goalies who are going to bail them out night after night. So they need to tighten things up a little bit. Do they not? Like, is that
again?
Like, is that how this team is going to win this year? Is that how this team has to win?
Not in the Pacific Division.
Okay, so how do you think they have to win?
For this team to win, there has to be there can't be so much discrepancy between lines of what they do, I think. Like, obviously,
so you have some lines that do a lot and some lines that do nothing.
I mean, just the commitment to play without the puck, I think, has to, for this team this year to have success. I think should be uniform through all four lines.
Okay.
When you do not have the puck, there is a commitment to play defense, not always sniffing on the offensive side, and making it so much tougher for teams to play against. And again, we said it this morning. This isn't a switch. You can't just turn this thing on all of a sudden and decide to play a little bit more physical and lean in on teams. When's the last game that you watched where you looked at the other team and goes, God, that was tough on them. They were tough on them tonight.
I know.
When do you see?
But that's how you're gonna have to win in playoffs, right?
When do you see the other team's star powers or skilled guys look frustrated at the game? There is every team that the Oilers play recently, they are so comfortable playing against the Edmonton Oilers that and again, that's, I think, why that they went to look for that external help of guys with a little bit more of a mean on when they play hockey. And I mean, Evander Kane couldn't come back fast enough in this case. Hopefully he does. We'll see what Frederick does.
Cass, too easy to play against can mean like a lot of things. Right? Like we're not just talking about crashing and banging and oh my God, this defenseman has to worry when he goes back for the puck, which they don't when they play the others. But like being hard in front of your own net, being hard in the like that type of thing.
Having
like,
guys have to do a detour. It's not like straight lines.
Yeah.
I got to get out away from this guy. I'm going into the corner.
Around him.
Yeah, like it's just constant.
Having to expend energy in the corners to win a battle, right?
Yes.
Like always having to go through somebody, never having a clean look into the zone, like always having back pressure, like always having to back check because the other team's playing fast and the forwards are jumping in and trying to create odd man rushes, so you're having to recover defensively. Like it's teams not throwing away pucks at the blue line and forcing you to play defense. Like that's an element of being hard to play against too, right? Is not giving easy outs coming back the other way. It's like holding onto the puck and making good plays with it and forcing the other team to play defense and to adjust on the fly. Like that's a part of being difficult to play against.
If a team doesn't have to work hard to get the puck back, they're easy. You're easy to play that type of thing, right? Like it's just.
Oh yeah,
you're making it too simple for the other team, right? Like
we're not talking like laying guys out, and it's just every time someone's in your face, you're having to go through or battle, or it's just not there. It's so easy to me. It seems like.
Well, and laying guys out is part of it. Like there's an element of that to it as well. Like
Okay, so. I'll get to C. Hendo. We'll get to your text in a second. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or EdmontonSportsTalk.com, you can text us 780-218-9999. It's Two Guys in Goalie, Nielson, Kassian, Gage, brought to you by GS Construction, where they are hiring today. The whole Bouchard thing, this came up on our conversation with Jamie McLennan this morning because Noodles talked about how he is very pro-analytic. Like he sat down with a bunch of the early analytics guys to try to learn all about it. He said, but I also use a 17-year professional hockey career as an eye test sometimes. And we were talking about Bouchard, and I've been trying to wrap my head around Bouchard because there are many who statistically see a lot of the things and absolutely love him. And then there are some that just would literally trade him away for nothing just to get him off the team. And to me, Gager, I'm trying to think, why can he be so frustrating for people? And is it in times where urgency is required, he's just not urgent? Like, is that why in the big moments it's like, damn it, man? Like, I'm trying to think of the moments that drive people most crazy, and it's when there needs to be a sense of urgency in the game. It's like he's still just operating at that same non-urgent pace. Is that close? Do you think what it is with this guy? Or
but what hurts, and I think Oilers fans mostly, is they've seen times when it is. He views everything as crucial, and you can actually see what type of defender he can become. But that just might be Bouchard too, like because of the way he can handle the puck and the patience in the offensive zone. There's no pulse, right? But obviously on the defensive side, it's the same thing. Him trying to go for offense when there's no pulse, there's no urgency. He's an interesting player because what does he do? He scores that goal, right? But you look at two other goals last night where if he does something that's a little bit more urgent, the Oilers win the game. So when it becomes an issue that his offensive contributions are not outweighing his defensive liabilities, that's when you really have to start having the discussion of what are we going to do with this player.
Kaz, what do you think on this guy?
Yeah, I think that's where I don't even know if it would be, I would call it discussions around what are we going to do with this player. Like that, Evan Bouchard will always be high risk, high reward.
Yeah.
He's always going to be that. And even like that play that we talked about yesterday, like it wasn't like he wasn't skating back as fast as he could. Like he was skating back hard. He just was thinking offense and he made a mistake. And that is typically where he runs into problems is he's thinking offense and he makes a mistake. And it can come across visually as looking really lackadaisical. And I think that's really what frustrates people is it like looks like it's a lazy mistake. And so like that play yesterday, it looks like it's a soft mistake. And I guess it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. Like it's not that it was a soft mistake because he was thinking offense. It was that he just didn't take the simple defensive play in that moment. So it was the
decision-making is what you're saying.
It was the decision-making in that moment where he made the mistake. And that's where I think he has struggled this year is his decision-making in the defensive zone has not been where it needs to be. Now, offensively, he's still done some fantastic things and still does some fantastic things. And that's where the analytics numbers would show. Like, yeah, he produces offense. And he helps McDavid and he helps Draisaitl produce offense. And so you want to hold on to the player. You want to keep him. You want him still to play. However, you have to be cautious at times in your deployment of him, I think, because the risk in the defensive zone right now is also there. Because if we go back to playoffs of last year, guys, were you concerned about him defensively in his own zone?
I loved him in the playoffs last year.
He was out in the last 2 minutes of a
he was out there late in games.
Like,
you're right. He was.
I wasn't like, oh my gosh, look out.
Because he wasn't cheating to the offensive side. Now that player hasn't gone away, but it's like in the struggle for finding offense, like the decision-making process has not been there. And so you don't trade the player, you don't bench the player, you're not going to give him a offer of $2 million on a contract. Like that's all foolishness. He is a guy that can be an 80-point plus defenseman. So it's like you're not just going to throw him away and disregard him. However, for Coffey in terms of a deployment, you have to be wise of when you're putting him out there in certain situations that require a steadier hand. Not that he can't give you that steadier hand, but he just has struggled in that area. I don't think he's struggled in the offensive zone. He's just struggled defensively with some of that decision making.
Well, he might still be there, but that player's in storage somewhere that they need to go find.
They got to go find. He's at Sentinel Storage somewhere, presenting sponsor of the Hangout, and you can go find him.
I wasn't sure. I was going to say Sentinel, but are they still a sponsor?
Yeah. They're presenting sponsor of the Hangout for like at least a year. Storage. So he's at Sentinel Storage. They have tons of locations, and it's all across the city. And actually, everywhere I go, I don't think you can drive around the city without seeing a Sentinel Storage.
I got a great one at the end of Rabbit Hill by my place.
A huge one.
Yeah, and they got the lights. It looks like.
Do you have a unit in there?
No, I don't.
I've always wanted to have enough stuff to have a storage unit.
Yeah.
Or get one where I could go nap at times and Tam wouldn't know.
Once I become a huge meth dealer, I think that's where I'll store my money.
Oh, just the money.
Just the money.
Yeah. That would make sense. That would make sense. Just with a lock. Just all your money right in there. Okay. So I know we mentioned it briefly right at the start, but we haven't got into the whole conversation yet. You guys might not have seen it. I saw a video of it today. At the end of the game, McDavid was skating off, and he kind of went like this to the bench. He was like, looked like he wanted the timeout. Gager, what do you think the process was? When they got the second icing, I was like, this is a warning. Like, take your timeout now.
Yeah.
Like, you got another whistle here right away. Yeah. But I don't know. Even when they cut to the shot of Knobloch, and he's like, I'm like, is he really thinking hard about this? Or it just seems like that's what most people would do in that situation. So why didn't he? Why did he go against the grain, do you think, there?
I really think that he thought that they were on the ropes, and Connor's got an Energizer bunny and could keep going.
And they just keep going on him.
But like I said,
they didn't have a shot on goal in the final 2 minutes.
But
I mean,
why wouldn't you ask though? Are you guys okay? Wouldn't you ask?
It did cut to the shot of Connor the one time after that icing, the second icing, where they kind of cut to him and he was slowly going back, and I don't know. It was really weird. Seemed like an automatic.
I mean, Connor should have enough clout to just go call it, right? Like maybe he was putting it in his hands.
Just like straight up.
I put the blame on both of them. Like Connor's he knows if he'd winded and knows he can't really go, then I would. He's going out anyway. Look, I need 30 seconds. Give me 30.
Yeah.
And go do that, right? Obviously it's the coach's decision, and maybe he thought it was, but I guarantee if Connor McDavid goes to Coach Nabla at that time of the game and says, I need a timeout, he's teeing up.
You got one sitting there. Cass, what do you make of this?
Yeah, I think the thought process was you got him on the ropes a little bit, and Connor and Leon are used to playing a little tired.
Yeah.
In that situation, so they're going to hold up better. That's your thought. That being said, I thought after that last icing, he was going to call it for sure.
After the second one.
You kind of used one.
Yeah.
Yeah, after the second one. Like, you used one. Like, let's get a set here and give these guys a couple seconds. And I know that's also giving Buffalo a couple seconds, but you're putting trust in your players' ability to recover and to be lights out. So I didn't like the not using it. I thought you should have. That being said, you're already down at that point, so it's not like, oh, they lost the game because of that.
Yeah.
But I would have liked
it's so unique to not take it to that situation is why it's a comment.
So weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
So weird.
Maybe he was saving it for overtime.
Get the guys an extra breath in OT. All right, let's dive into hire it or fire it. If you have any questions, 780-218-9999, or if you know what, let's get to a couple more questions, then we'll get into hire it or fire it. Boys, do you think Bouchard's cheating for offense has something to do with him being in a contract year and he's looking to rack up points to jack up his value? I don't think so. I think it's just the way he operates.
Oh, yeah. I don't think so. And the reason I don't think so is he got more points last year.
He's got a huge offensive season already under his belt for negotiating.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, I sure hope not. But
fire it. I don't think so.
The follow-up here from Troll says the other Troll goes, the only plus of Bouchard's play this year is his next contract won't cost the others as much. So, I mean, if he was to hang what he did last year, this year again, then he is looking for over $10 million bucks.
Yeah.
But I don't think he can. I don't think he'll get that number with the way that this season has gone so far. All right, hired or fired for GS Construction. We got some other stuff. Wait, there's no other question in here too, so don't freak out. The upcoming F1 season will come down to the final race of the year. Ooh. Hired or fired?
For purely selfish reasons, I'm going to hire it.
There's no way in the world you would not hire this one.
Of course I'm going to hire it.
Cass, what do you think? We have a tight year?
Yeah, fire it. I don't think so.
A little bit of a...
I don't think so.
I don't know if you saw it today, Cass, but when you log in to pick your team, Max Verstappen is what? Third on the value
right now. Yeah.
That's so weird to me.
It's crazy.
He won it last year.
Yeah.
No, Max is going to dominate. Yeah, he's going to dominate, and he's going to win every single race. Every single one. Every single race.
I got a lot of time.
You know what my team lineup is? I already logged in when we were talking. Like, and I selected my team while we were doing this. Jeez. And I picked Max Verstappen 5 times and Red Bull twice.
I know that's not true because you can. All right, the Oilers would be a big favorite in a series against the Kings again right now. Hired or fired?
I'm going to hire it.
Big favorite?
Yeah.
Okay.
They just beat them every time. Yeah. Hire it.
Cass, what do you think?
The Kings are what they need right now. A series against the
Kings. Yeah, is what they need. Yeah, I'm going to hire it. Yeah.
I think they would be the favorites. I'm not sure if people around the town, especially like if the final 20 games go like the last 15 games have gone, people in town will be predicting that they'll be swept by the Kings. They'll be the favorite in it from a betting perspective, but I don't think it'll be like it's a 6 or 7 gamer.
Oh yeah,
don't you think?
Oh, of course.
Okay, all right. Daredevil is an underrated MCU character.
Hire it.
Okay.
I rewatched the first season
of the old
one on Disney Plus. So it's not Born Again, the original one. My son,
get ready for the new one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So my son came over.
Oh, nice.
And
he guys have popcorn?
No, he was going to bring his girlfriend, but then they went out to Beercade on White Ave, and she was a mess. So he just came, and I said, "What do you want?" And we did the old thing. We got the little soul fried chicken place and pizza.
No, with your boy.
So my boy comes home for the weekend to crush some pizza and fried chicken and watch Daredevil with me. Oh. It's
The whole
glorious.
season?
Well, no,
You
we
okay.
pounded about 3 episodes.
Have you watched the 2 episodes of the new
No,
one?
I'm because my wife, I'm getting her caught up with the rest. But I'll put that first season of Daredevil up against any other superhero.
I watched the first season. I didn't watch
was-
the other ones, but I watched the first season. I really liked it. I don't know why it
was
fell off.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And even the second one has the Punisher. It's pretty close to the first, but I think the first is still better. The third is really good because it gets really dark, and Bullseye's in it, who is in the comics, aside from Wilson Fisk, is Daredevil's like main arch rival because Bullseye never misses.
Yeah. Anyway, I won't say anything about Bullseye. Cass, are you do you think Daredevil's underrated or?
Yeah, I think it's pretty sweet.
I know nothing about
I think he's
Daredevil,
pretty sweet. I haven't watched this one yet, but yeah, he's a good character.
He's torn.
Cool concept. Yeah.
Did you watch the Affleck movie?
Yeah.
How was that?
A million years ago? Yeah.
Yeah. But
Colin Farrell was Bullseye. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember Spider-Man, the last Spider-Man with all 3 of them?
Yeah, and
when he
Matt was there,
yeah,
he caught
when
the
he
brick.
caught the brick.
Yeah.
How do you do that? I'm just a really good lawyer.
Well, how do you? I want to see how they tie it all together.
Yeah.
Is there a Spider-Man cameo in this season of Daredevil? Even if it's just Tom Holland walking down the street, like in one of the shit. I'm telling you. So I watched the first season when it first came out back in the day. Really liked it. Must have had some other shows or something going on because I didn't get into season 2 of Punisher. I didn't watch season 3. But I watched both episodes of the new one over the weekend.
Yeah.
And like, I loved the Penguin.
Yeah.
The Penguin,
Yeah,
I thought was a phenomenal DCU series. The first 2 episodes of this one were incredible.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
I really liked it. I'm really excited. Actually, episode 3 drops today, I think.
Okay.
And it was
good?
really good.
Okay, yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah. I loved the series. I thought it was just awesome. So I can't wait.
Okay, I asked this one because there was some sitting out there today. The cinnamon bun is a top 10 pastry option. Hired or fired?
Is it a pastry though?
Oh, it's definitely a pastry, isn't it? What would it be? What would it be if it's not a pastry? Am I wrong?
It's
Here?
kind
Is
of
it not even?
Do I classify a cinnamon bun as a pastry or
It's a
more in the
pastry.
Danish
Yeah, it
family?
is.
Is it?
Cass, what are you classifying it as?
It's
I
baked.
think it was a pastry.
You thought it was, or you don't think it's a pastry?
I thought it was a pastry.
Yeah, I think it's a pastry, Gager.
Okay.
Isn't a Danish also a pastry as well? It's just like a subfamily in the family?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. You're right.
Wow, it's weird. This is creepy. I went on Google and I typed in "is a cinnamon," and the first thing that came up was "is a cinnamon bun a pastry?"
No.
Have that many people Googled it, or is this computer creeping me out right now? That's crazy. Yes, a cinnamon bun is a
Okay.
type of pastry, specifically a sweet, yeast-laden pastry, often characterized by its spiral shape and cinnamon
Okay.
sugar filling.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's up. Yeah. What was the question? It was
Top 10.
Yeah,
It's definitely top 10.
Yeah, easily. If it was top 5, maybe.
What do you think?
I still might put it at 5.
I think
We might have a pastry draft.
Yeah, actually, we should have a pastry draft. Cass, I mean, I would think, Gager, for me, it would probably be in that 4 to 5 range.
Yeah.
I haven't really thought about this too long and hard. Somebody dropped off cinnamon buns a couple days ago, last week.
Sheldon did.
No, that was yesterday.
Oh, that was
somebody dropped off Cinny buns last week too,
God,
and
they're
they were
good.
delicious.
They're so good.
Cass,
Oh,
what are you saying?
good.
Top 10 for sure, maybe
Only
top
cinnamon
5?
buns are pretty hard to beat. I mean, yeah,
Professional
maybe top 5,
broadcaster.
top 10 for sure. Potentially top 5. Yeah, it might be close to my top 3.
Yeah. So what would
Pastry
be
sauce, like
better?
that's-
Like, what is automatically better for you in the pastry business than
Donut, like a good donut,
a good classic donut? I would also have ahead of it.
a
I
good
would,
classic donut.
My favorite pastry is the pain au chocolat, the croissants with the chocolate inside.
I did that when I was
Those are tasty too.
when I was in Portland for the WHL final last
Yeah.
year. There was like a fancy little pastry shop right across from the hotel. And I walked over there and I had like a chocolate croissant.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like it. I don't know.
Maybe not good chocolate.
Maybe that was it.
You know what? You know what's an underrated pastry is an apple strudel.
I like the strudel too.
Underrated
I like
pastry is
the
an apple
Bavarian
strudel.
strudels,
Like
like the-
good strudel.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
trying to think of just pastries in general. I mean,
Is this because of your pastry pizza that you had that you're on the
yeah, so I
flaky-
went to this place last night called Pastries.
Yeah.
And did you hear that this morning?
Yeah.
It was like Babu Bhatt from Seinfeld. Like, the place was completely empty. He was the nicest guy I've ever met in my entire life. And I'm not talking about like at restaurants. He was just the nicest guy. And so the crust, it's like a thin crust pizza, which was delicious. But the crust is like puffed up and flaky.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
Cool.
It was awesome. He was a nice guy. Like, he didn't let me pay until after we'd already eaten everything. It was a little strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were the only people in there. It's not very big. It's like a donair place. So it's not a donair place, but it would be like that. There's like 4 tables and but yeah, Pastries. I asked him, I said, you guys, is this the only location? He goes, I would like to have more one day, but this is the first one. I was like, man, but the name worked. Like, my kids, I'd be taking them to basketball every Monday, and we drive by it, and they're like, Pastries. I was just like, yeah, we'll go at the end of basketball. So basketball wrap last night, so we went to Pastries, and yeah, kind of you can look out, you order in or whatever, you go in, tell them Edmonton Sports, he'll have no clue what's going on. But yeah, it was interesting. It was a flaky crust on a pizza. I never had that before.
I would love it if a bunch of ESTers go in there and just start looking around and go, Dusty told us to try this place.
Yeah, no, that would be great. He put the Oilers game on TV.
Yeah.
It was like we were in our own kitchen essentially, because I was going to
awesome.
stream the Oilers game on my phone because it was like 6:30, and he had cricket on the TV, and a huge TV, like an 80-inch TV, and he's like, I'll put the game on for you. I was like, yes,
great.
this is terrific. So
That's awesome.
yeah, but it was like a croissant, like the crust, the crust was like croissant type of thing.
Yeah, flaky. And
I don't know how he does it, to be honest with you. Like, the rest of the crust is normal,
and just
but
the edge.
the edge, the final piece, like the bottom
Maybe he
back
puts
part
that
is
around and
maybe at the end, like
yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it was kind of
It
neat.
sounds like you'll be back in the kitchen in no time anyway. You can
I do. I'm
make your
going to
own
roll
pies.
back in this afternoon and be like, hey, I'm back for the stuffed garlic bread at Pastries. Let's see what happens. One more hired or fire it came rolling in here. Hired or fire it, Cass. The Oilers go 3-1 on this road trip.
Fire it. I want to hire it, but after that debacle against Buffalo, how can I?
You don't
How
think
can
they
I
got 3 more
confidently say that? How can I confidently say that in a back-to-back scenario? I can't right now. I want to say that, but I can't.
I have to agree with Cass on this one. They haven't been able to string 2 good games together in a long time. Even if they play one good one, they come back with one subpar effort. So I'm going to fire it as well.
A 2-2 trip incoming here. Back-to-backs and part
Fingers
of that,
crossed.
Yeah. Oh, man, if they come home again after like a 1-3 trip that started with a loss to Buffalo, it's not going to go over. It's not going to go over very well. All right, what do you got coming up on EST afternoons here, Gager?
Oh shoot!
We
got Tim Haraney coming up.
I knew Haraney was going to be on this week.
We're going to talk a little bit there. We also have Heat and Smoke. Zach's been grilling Trev with his questions, so that was good. Guy Flaming, because the Oil Kings solidified the playoff spot. Also, the announcement of our 2 new fantasy F1 contestants from our great listeners. And then just tee up a Reed show.
Busy show.
Yep.
Busy show. Lots coming down the pipe here on EST Afternoons. That'll go from 1 to 3. If you're listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, that'll be followed by the Reed Wilkins show from 3 until 6. And Reed was not in yesterday, so he'll be fired up to get back in the driver's seat there today. 2 guys in the goalie, as always, brought to you by GS Construction, setting the industry standard for 50 years with quality, efficiency, and safety, driving their success. GS, foundation built on teamwork, and now they want you to become a part of the team. Visit the Ready to Work page at gsconstruction.ca, where it's not just a job, it is a career at GS Construction. All right, that's going to do it for 2 guys in a goalie. EST Afternoons is coming up. For Matt Kassian and Joaquin Gage, I am Dustin Nielson. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock. Until then, have a great afternoon. Take it easy.